At the start of this year, I was really depressed. We are entering the second year of the COVID pandemic, and I was entering the fifth year of having isolated myself from the rest of the world. I started to film so I could feel something again, so I could find beauty in everyday moments again. Bailey certainly helped me with that. Then my grandfather suddenly passed away, and everything felt different. Suddenly, life started to matter a whole lot more. Spending time with family and nature became invaluable. By the time my 21st birthday came around, I felt older, but I didn't act it. There was a lot of goodness amidst the sadness of January. It seems all I caught on film was that goodness. The blue skies, the beauty, the love. It's all there, strewn throughout the moments that felt so hard. It was here that families started to become friends. I was still really struggling with my depression at this point. I felt like I was always missing somebody. Sometimes that somebody could even be me. I wasn't thinking about this at the time, of course. I mostly was just missing home. The feeling, that is, not the place. I spent a lot of this part of the year alone. With dogs, of course, but it gave me good time to think and to grow. What I was growing into, now that I wasn't exactly sure of. But I could tell that changes were afoot. It's a good word. I need to use that more. Where the first part of the year was slow, things were speeding up. Family came to help with funerary arrangements. The school semester was well underway, and life was looking a little brighter, even in the rain. As I went home for the first time in months, I said hello and goodbye to 2 other chapters of this year. The hopefulness that I felt in this part of the year started to improve my mental health. I started to see the people I needed to see and talk to the people I'd been longing to talk to. Things in my world really began to open up more than they had in years, albeit slowly, but it did happen. I got to see my mom's parents for the first time in 2 years and get out just that little bit more. We began to see real progress with the fire rebuild, and the promise of life beyond this moment felt never more real. What's funny is, looking back, I loved those moments. As COVID restrictions eased, we were finally able to have my grandfather's burial service. It was a rough day on many of us, but the best part was being able to connect with family I hadn't seen in years. Thankfully, after this, we continued to stay connected throughout the entire year.
that today you're on your way and you'll be coming home to me. When it's early in the morning, very, very early, without warning, I can feel a newly born vibration sneaking up on me again.
The changes I'd felt coming in Chapter 1 arrived in Chapter 3.
We're all going on a summer holiday.
In a quick turn of life's events, my dad and stepmom decided it was time to look for a new place to call home.
Summer holiday, no more worries for me or you. For a week
We visited a lot of homes, but finally landed on the one.
brightly. We're going where the sea is blue.
It's kind of amazing how quickly it all came together. At the start of the week, we were joking about moving, and by the end of the week, the house was nearly packed.
Everybody has a summer holiday, doing things they always wanted to. So
I spent some more time with my
we're going on a
grandparents now that I could see them
summer
again,
holiday
painting
to make our dreams
and
come
exploring.
true. For me
I was finally able to meet my youngest cousin for the very first time and celebrate my mom's birthday with the whole family. Anytime I was blue, there was always the dogs. I took my final walk through our neighborhood before we moved. I didn't know this was goodbye. That's for the
We're
best.
going where the sun shines brightly. We're going where the sea is blue. We've seen it in the movies. Now let's see.
Finally
if
facing my
it's
lifelong fear, I
true.
got my wisdom teeth removed.
Everybody has a
And I finally went to visit my dad's new house for the very first time. The depression I felt earlier this year was virtually gone. I felt free.
For me and you.
With the start of the summer came pride. Even though it was small, I still had a blast. Now having the tools I needed and my second COVID shot, I was able to get out more into the world. I spent much more time with family, with a new house, and even with friends. In every way, my horizons were expanding. After our house burned down 3.5 years ago, we finally moved back home. And home was happy to see us. Although I still had quite a few rough patches upon moving back home, interspersed between them were wonderful memories. Building a plant stand with my grandpa, painting with my grandma, and exploring Bodega Bay with the both of them. Spending time with Katie, Andre, Ari, and Katie's grandmas. My first meeting with my mentor. Nightly walks and exploring the cemetery. Spending time with friends. I'm never going to forget the memories we made together this summer. Like spending the day making up songs so that Katie would have something to listen to when she was off at college. or adventuring to Napa after a long day's hike. We had a fun time helping Andre move. And even more fun making up a fake TV show. As well as going on more hikes together. This part of the year made me the happiest. At this point in the year, things began to slow. I began to feel that my growth was stagnating. I wasn't reaching farther into the world like I'd hoped. But what I learned is that growth isn't linear. It's not over when the lesson's learned. There's always more life afterwards. And even though that can be a terrifying thought, there's comfort in the knowledge that just because you live a life doesn't mean you're required to gain something from every moment of it.
I'd look into the lake, shimmering like smoke, rises the moon. Oh, close your
There were many ways I was able to grow this year, and many ways that I was not able to.
promise you that soon the autumn comes.
But all in all, I think I'm happy to be somewhere different. At the start of this year, life was very closed. I didn't eat many foods, I didn't go many places, I didn't have very many tools. And none of those changes occurred in an instant. None of them had a concrete start and stop. As I look into 2022, I'm still going to be struggling with the same things. But that doesn't mean I'm not okay, and that life isn't going to be okay. This year has shown me that there are always going to be family and friends at my side, and a beautiful world just outside my door. I am so grateful for all the people who were able to be in my life this last year. Those moments have meant the world. They're the reason that I'm okay.
Visited by sleep. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to steal away each dream you keep. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Thank you all for a wonderful 2021.